All right, today we are going to be making a fun little Valentine's Day hedgehog, and this is not exactly what it's gonna look like, but I'm gonna walk you through the steps. So I was preparing some of the pieces that we're gonna need. So this is pretty much what it's gonna look like. So what I need you to do is try to find some brown paper to make your hedgehog. If you don't have brown paper at your house, what you can do is you can just use regular lined paper or white paper, whatever kind of paper you have at your house. Or if you don't want a brown hedgehog and you would rather have a pink hedgehog, you can use pink paper. So the type of paper that you use really doesn't matter. If you're gonna be using white paper or lined paper, what I want you to do is you're going to draw the shape of the hedgehog. So the shape of the hedgehog is going to be kind of like an oval, but kind of like a teardrop in a way. So here's like the back part of the oval, and then I'm gonna come a little bit skinnier and a little bit skinnier and then round it off. Kind of looks like a teardrop, except don't make this into a point because this is gonna be his nose, so it kind of has to be rounded right there. So this is the shape of the body, and then I want you to go ahead and give him some feet. So you just draw the feet right on here. It's somewhat important for these to be kind of lined up down here because we're going to try to make it at the end so that he can stand up. Also, I want to say draw your hedgehog at the bottom of your paper. Look how I have all this white space up here. The reason for that is because we're going to be folding our paper in half. Like I said, I want us to be able to stand the hedgehog up. So try to draw the hedgehog at the bottom of the paper and leave the top empty. Now, if you're using white paper or lined paper, go ahead and get something to color with. Doesn't have to be a marker. I'm just using a marker because that's what I have right here. Take something brown, crayon, color pencil, marker, whatever you have. Go around the legs and the body, and then color in the whole thing brown. So you don't technically have to have brown paper at your house. You can just color your paper brown. Now, if you are using brown paper, this is what your paper would look like, and you will take a pencil and draw the shape of the hedgehog just like I did on the other piece of paper. So draw that like rounded teardrop shape and add the legs on the bottom. Okay, so now we're kind of at the same point here on both of these pieces of paper. So the next part's gonna be a little bit tricky. So, and remember, draw it at the bottom of your paper and leave the top empty. The reason for that is because we're going to be folding it. So when you fold it, you have to fold it so that the body of the hedgehog right here lines up at the top where the fold is. So the feet have to be at the bottom where the paper is not folded, and the top of the body has to be where it's folded. So you can try to fold it almost exactly at the top of your paper, right like that. So the top of the body should be right here at the fold. Okay, and once you have that, you're gonna leave it folded while you're cutting. So that means you're cutting through two pieces of paper at the same time. Just make sure you keep those two sheets together while you're folding. Now here's the tricky part also. Keep this part folded, don't cut that part. So leave this fold right here and then start cutting on the other side of the fold and cut the whole way around the shape. So I started here at the fold, cut all the way around the shape, and now this is, pay close attention to this part too. I'm gonna come all the way around to like where his butt would be, come up here, and then stop cutting, like cut right up here. So you might have a little bit of white space. I don't know if you can see it. You might have a little bit of white space right here and right here. You just have to make sure that this fold stays here, because the reason is we want him to be able to stand up like this. So you'll have a white side if you're using white paper, and you can color that now. So now you have a brown side and a white side. You can color that in brown. And then if you want to get him to stand up, you just kind of unfold him a little bit and let him stand up on his legs. So we're definitely not done yet. So that's just the first part. So then the next part is to decorate him with all of these hearts. And the hearts are gonna make him look like a hedgehog, because hedgehogs are spiky, and see how the pointed part of the heart is spiky. So you're gonna be able to decorate the whole back of the hedgehog with these little spiky hearts. Before you start doing that though, you do want to kind of make a mark on here so that you know where the face is going to be, because the face of the hedgehog is not going to get hearts on it. So I'm just going to draw like a little line right here so I know where to stop. You can barely see it, but this is where I want to put the eye, and this is where I want to put the nose. So I'm going to leave a space for the eye and the nose here on the front, and I'm going to draw this line so that I know this is the area I want to put hearts, and I don't want to put hearts right here. Now, let me show you how to do the hearts. If you have colored paper, you can choose whatever colors you want for your hearts, and you can either draw a whole bunch of hearts and just keep drawing them, and cut them all out so that you have all these little pieces like I have. And I want to show you a little trick so that you can cut out more than one heart at a time, because if you just cut them out one by one, it's going to take a really long time. You can do it that way, but it will take a very long time. So draw one, get it the way you want it, and then cut a strip like the length of the heart. So my heart is this wide, just cut it a little bit wider, and then cut one long strip in your paper, and then cut a square or a rectangle around the heart. Then you take the rest of the strip that you just cut and line it up right like that, and then cut it. So now you just have a blank rectangle, and then put that pile of rectangles on top of your strip of paper, cut it again, put that pile on top of the strip and cut it again. You probably only want to do like 3 or 4 because it's going to get too hard to cut if you do more than that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that and see how difficult that is to cut. So pile all of them on top of each other with your drawing of a heart on top, and then very carefully cut around the heart with all 4 pieces of paper together. Now you have to make sure that when you're doing this, the paper doesn't slide around, because if they're moving, then they'll all be different shapes. But now I just cut 4 hearts at one time, so that's gonna save you a lot of time if you do it that way. That's just a little trick. You don't have to do it that way. Now, if you don't have colored paper at your house, not to worry. You can just get your white paper or your lined paper, whatever you have, and you can just take your markers or your crayons or your colored pencils, and you can draw your hearts and color them in and then cut them out. And you can do it the exact same way that I showed you how to do it on the colored paper, where you cut the strips and then line it up, cut another one, line it up, cut another one, line it up, and then cut all of them together at the same time. Now the only problem with this is that you will, after you cut them out, you'll have a whole bunch of white hearts, and that's fine. Your hedgehog can be a white hedgehog. But if you want them to be colored, you'll have to spread them out and color them once you cut them out. Not a huge deal. It's just gonna take a little bit more time. All right, now once you have them all cut out, you can arrange them on here and then glue them on with your glue stick. And you can have them facing up if you'd rather have them facing up, or you can face them out, like I said, to make them look like the spiky part of the hedgehog. And I'm gonna do a color pattern because, you know, I'm the art teacher and I like color patterns. So I'm gonna do pink, green, and I'm just gonna keep rotating what colors I glue onto my hedgehog. But you can glue them on however you want. All right, now remember that you have two sides of this hedgehog. So once you have one side decorated with all of your hearts, then go ahead and do that on the other side. And then you still have this little face area to complete. So if you have any of those little pom-pom things, you can glue that on as the nose. And so the nose goes right here on the tip of it right there. You just glue the little pom-pom, and then if you have any little googly eyes, you can glue on a googly eye. Now if you don't have a pom-pom and a googly eye, not a huge deal, although it does look adorable. You can always draw it. So I have here the, I just used a black marker, but you can use a black crayon or black colored pencil or whatever color you want, doesn't really matter. So you can put a little circle for the nose, you can draw a circle with a dot inside of it for the eye, and I added eyelashes, you can add that too if you want, and a little smiley face, which by the way, I forgot I can add that on here. So you put a little smiley face as a final touch, and then you are done. Now the cool thing about this is that he can stand up, so you can have him standing. You can use him as a little decoration in your bedroom, but even cooler is that, of course, it does open up. So you can open it up and write a little message in here, and you can give it to someone as a Valentine. I will tell you this, moms and grandmoms love Valentines. So you can make this and then save it until Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is on a Sunday this year, so make sure you're paying attention to what day of the week it is. But I'm telling you, if you make this for your mom, you might actually make her cry because it is so sweet. All right, happy Valentine's Day.